in the house going to be joining us. The great Brady Cannon will be kicking to us. Our good friend Tony Finn. We welcome the awesome Joe D'Amico to the MGM Grand. We've got Monica Madrid representing the San Francisco 49ers. I just ran into my boy, Clay Harbor, on the Strip, and Clay always comes on with us every year at the Super Bowl. We didn't run into each other this week on Media Row. I just saw him on the Strip. I said, yo, bro. He said, we didn't do the hit. I said, man, you can do the hit live, man. We're kicking it at the MGM Grand Sportsbook. Come on over. He said, I'm going to come. So we're waiting on Clay Harbor to join us a little bit later on. And speaking of the Chicago Bears, we got a Bear fan sitting next to us, the one and only Taylor Mathis in the house. What's going on, Taylor Mathis?
Nothing much, except for all the craziness and amazingness going on right now in Vegas.
Hey, this place is hopping. It's still early. Imagine. It's only 5 o'clock Vegas time right now. Look at this place. Just imagine what it's going to be around 11 midnight tonight.
I know. The craziness really starts to ensue Friday, Saturday before the Super Bowl.
So how has your week been so far here in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada?
Amazing. It's been amazing. I mean, we're blessed to the fact that we get to be here, work, and do this job and cover something as great as the Super Bowl. Amazing to say the least. My feet hurt a little bit in these shoes I've been walking in today, but besides that, I have no complaints.
For people that think that we're complaining about walking too much, everybody knows. Everybody that's even hanging out here as tourists know. You walk more. You come to Vegas to party, you end up walking like 22,000 steps.
Yep.
To the casino, to the restaurant, back to my room, back to the casino, to the sports book. We're going out. You end up walking like 18 miles. So me, I'm worn out, man. I'm like, man, I'm just like, and then I realized, as Taylor just said, I'm like, dude, you're complaining to yourself. You're going to interview a San Francisco 49er cheerleader in about 5 minutes, and you're hanging out with Pat McAfee, and you're complaining that you're walking too much. I think a lot of people would want to be in your shoes. But Taylor today ran into a dude on the Dallas Cowboys. I said, bro, how's the week been for you? He goes, man, I've walked way too much, man. Professional football players said the same thing. He goes, man, I don't walk this much. That's what he told me.
Too much walking in Vegas. I could agree. And, hey, you're not doing it in heels, Gabe. Do it in heels, and that's a whole different story, boys. Let me tell you.
We should actually compare who has nicer footwear.
I don't know.
This is the Rex Ryan special right here.
Look at that.
Look at these.
I don't think I can get my foot up there.
I'm pretty flexible.
I can't get it up there because my mic is attached to the shoe. I could get it up there.
Taylor's like, no, I'm not lifting my leg on the desk.
I'm in a dress, and
I told you things are going to get crazy here. I'm already, we're getting nuts. We're getting crazy. So, all right. So from the crowd that's here early, are you guys pulling for the San Francisco 49ers? Niners, yeah, baby. Or we got Kansas City Chiefs fans here. Whoa.
I heard more Niners.
I got to tell you, all week long, Niner fans are the drunker ones. They're the louder ones. So I don't know. Maybe KC fans just starting to show up right now. So what did you do this week? Normally you're at golf courses and parties and you're all over social media. So what did you have going on this week?
Oh, gosh. Well, let's see. SportsGrid's had me all over the place. Yesterday was at the Sports Illustrated Invitational golf event. Was great. Had an amazing time. Got to talk to a lot of really great NFL players while we were there. Little cold on the course, but besides that, great time. Today was on Radio Row all day, alongside you, doing the thing, getting everything done, and now here we are.
And what a day it was today. We're going to end with a bang. Tonight, tonight's gambling night. Tonight's betting night. We've had a lot of guests, and we're doing this and that. It's all about the picks tonight. Joe D'Amico's got a full slate of props that he's ready to share with us, and he's hammering these things. So I look forward to seeing what Joe likes in this game. I'm going to share my props. I've been sharing quite a few of them this week. Obviously, today we were very fired up about going on the Pat McAfee show. So we go on the Pat McAfee show. Listen, guys, you can't make this up. That Pat's like the hottest. That's the hottest show in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan Patrick, always been one of my favorite hosts of all time. And, the thing about Dan Patrick is he never stumbles. And I've always been fascinated over the years about how polished and amazing he is. And while I'm on with Dan Patrick, while I'm on with Pat McAfee today, Dan Patrick crashes the set. It was almost surreal. And somebody has a still shot, and I was actually like, and so Dan Patrick hadn't been on ESPN since he left. And then he asked, he goes, I'm allowed to swear now, though, right? And I can't right now. But he goes, hey, what's up, F-face? Let's say he called us duck face. And then I said, man, I got a lot of props here, Dan, but you saying duck face on national television was not on my prop sheet here. What an epic day today. Hang with this awesome stuff, epic stuff. And Dan was talking about Brent Musburger and how Brent Musburger should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So many other broadcasters are. And I met Brent Musburger earlier in the week, and I was thrilled about that. So I've had a great time this week, and we're going to have some fun tonight here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to have some fun right here on the grid as well. Who was the coolest person that you met that you're like, man, that was cool this week?
Oh, Emmitt Smith, hands down this morning.
Emmitt Smith, huh?
I'm a giant. You said I was a Bears fan, Gabe. I'm a Cowboys
fan.
You're
a Cubs fan, so I figured Chicago.
Well, we know I'm a giant Cubs fan, but I'm a
Cowboys
fan.
You're everywhere. That's right.
Through. I had to tell my dad.
Okay, so what happened? Sorry, what happened with? Because you're right. You bet the under. You were gonna have to get a Bears tattoo, right?
Yes.
It came pretty close.
It came down to the last game.
Were you worried?
Down 7.5 was the number. I was a little. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't that worried. I took the under early as a future for a reason, so I got to stick to my conviction of what I picked. The under ended up hitting, and I don't have to get a Bears tattoo.
Why did you become a Cowboy fan?
My dad, born and raised in Iowa, no pro team. He grew up watching Emmitt Smith, Troy.
Maybe they really are America's team.
They're America's team.
I think the Buffalo Bills are America's team. That's what I say.
No.
Like, really? You know what? I didn't even know Bill's name. I didn't even know Bill's Mafia
right there.
The Cowboys aren't America's team.
The Cowboys are America's team.
The Cowboys suck. All right. Anyway, we'll stay on track here. We're gonna stay on track. You know who doesn't suck? The Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. I look forward to getting your picks on the other side. Joe D'Amico is going to step up and in. We've got Tony Finn. We got Brady Cannon. Clay Harbor's on the radar with us. We've got Monica Madrid, who's got a super popular football podcast. All the players go on her show because it's called Football is Sexy.
Ooh,
right? Yeah.
I like it. I love the name.
It's a good name.
Love the name.
She was actually like one of the first ones, to teach. They have classes about the NFL, teaching football and stuff. And
how interesting.
Yeah. So I look forward to speaking to her.
Wow.
She's a diehard 49er fan.
So we know where she's going.
So what about from a betting perspective? How excited are you for this game?
Oh.
Do you have a ton of props?
Of course I do, Gabe. You know I've got a slew. I've got sheets of props, but I am a quality over quantity type of person.
You are.
So I only give out my favorites.
Yeah. You're not like us that's coming in. I already have like 24 props bet, and we haven't even really gotten into the player props yet. But we've waited so long for that. Then now maybe it's time to play the unders on the player market. Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If he doesn't run well, the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts from Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this. Like, because of the 23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I
don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat
Look,
bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
not a purse or man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. We're kicking it live at the MGM Grand, straight from the Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. Countdown to kickoff continues. We've had an epic week here on Media Row and here at the MGM as well. And as you can see, our set is starting to fill up right now. We're sitting alongside Taylor Mathis, but let's welcome Joe D'Amico to the program. Joe, welcome to SportsGrid. Thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. One of my favorite places on the planet, MGM Grand. I'm here every week just socially because I love it here. See shows, I eat here. I bet in one of my favorite books on the planet, Bet MGM.
They have a great
Thank you
new
for
app.
having me.
Hey, great stuff, Joe. Listen, you've lived here for 35 years, and you've been gambling for 35 plus years. How do you feel? How does it? Isn't it just so surreal to actually listen? Vegas has always been the place to be Super Bowl weekend, as it is, right? Even more so than most of the host cities. But now you're combining the actual game and Vegas. You just can't top it.
Well, my friend, I've got to tell you, Vegas is and has been and always will be the epicenter of the universe, all right, guys? It has always been the epicenter of the universe. I came here when I was 20 years old on vacation. I bought a house. I never left. God, the only way I'm leaving is in a box, and I ain't leaving anytime soon. I love this city, and it is electric all year round. But we've got baseball. We've got football. We've got baseball coming. We've got football. We've got hockey, guys. Down the road, we'll have basketball. But this is the entertainment capital of the world, and it is the only place to have a Super Bowl.
And even this weekend, guys, it's amazing, Taylor. There's like a WrestleMania press conference that's open to that's open to fans,
Right.
In which they're going to attack each other. It's basically a wrestling event. You've got Power Slap tonight, the first ever Power Slap.
Oh, that's tonight
here
as well.
That's right. That's at the Durango tonight in Las Vegas. You've got UFC tomorrow night at the Apex.
You've had the live going on.
You've got the Live Golf tournament going on.
There was a professional fight last night.
Yeah, you've got the Lopez-Ortiz fight, in which Lopez is lucky he got that decision last night. I was on Lopez via decision. You two were playing every night, basically at the Sphere. Like, who is it? Like, you can't keep up
Who's
with everything.
not here if you're not in Vegas right now?
Including
You're
Taylor
missing out.
Mathis is here. So
You're missing out.
what do you got for us, Taylor? Let's start off with your props. What are some of your best prop bets for Super Bowl 58?
I will start with my favorite, and it's all about George Kittle. And I've said it once, I've said it twice,
Love
I've
it.
said it 3 times. I hate betting against George Kittle. I went to Iowa with him, fellow Hawkeye of mine. But I've got to go with him, longest reception, under 21.5 yards. I love this play because the Chiefs defend the tight end position so well, and they allow for the 3rd lowest amount of explosive plays within the NFL. 39 different tight ends that they've gone against this season. Only 36% of them have gone over 21.5 receiving yards total. Only 2 of them have gone over that longest reception prop. It's my favorite play of the game by far. Kittle under 21.5 receiving, longest prop.
You see everybody?
Longest yardage.
There's no notes. There's no computer. That was unbelievable.
That's just me talking.
See, Joe needs notes, but only he remembers everybody because he's got so many damn bets. That's why he's like, he showed me, he goes, I got a big list here. That was amazing. I like where you're going with that, and for you to jump in on this, Joe. When you said Kittle, I actually think Kittle is a massive part of this football game. But Taylor is bang on as far as the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, great tight end, hadn't played, came back, played his first game. He actually did have 4 catches in the game, but for what, 31 yards? Taylor is exactly right. The Kansas City Chiefs are a big bend but don't break. Everything in front of them. I like George Kittle over 3.5 receptions, but I like where you're going with the longest reception right there. Joe, what's your take?
Well, guys, I want you to know, betting props, especially during the Super Bowl, back in the day, the Super Bowl was the only time we could bet props. But now, because of BetMGM and whatnot and the explosion of sports betting, you can bet 100 props on every game, every day of the week. But I want to teach you one thing. Less is more. I'd rather have one wife like Heidi Klum than 100 that look like Rosie O'Donnell. Be particular. If you want to bet 50 props, fine, bet $5 a prop and have all the fun in the world. But if you're serious about making money, whittle those down to the rare few you feel are going to bring you money, bring you profit. Listen, this should be enjoyable and profitable, but it's always been my experience that when I'm making a profit, it's more enjoyable.
It's more fun when you're making money.
Listen, Meg, I would like to give an example. There's a prop out there on Mahomes. Is he going to throw a touchdown pass? Do I think he's going to throw one? I think he's going to throw more than one. However, it's between where you go, and I think BetMGM earlier today had a minus 500. Do I want to lay a nickel to win 100? To me, that doesn't bring me value. I will only play props that bring me value, and you should too, sports fans.
Taylor Mathis and Joe D'Amico with us. Taylor, so you started off with George Kittle here. Under longest reception, what else are you looking at?
I hate to bet an anytime touchdown prop because that market is just so volatile. You never know. You could get somebody like Tyreek Hill on the Dolphins, who almost scores every game, and then you go to bet it.
A long shot, there is not really value on the market.
Yes, we're not betting Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. If I'm going to go with anybody, though, going with Deebo Samuel for an anytime touchdown, he's a jack-of-all-trades player. He can run it into the house, he can catch it, and what that man does after contact is elite within the NFL. Deebo Samuel's had 12 touchdowns this season, most in his career, yet to have one in the postseason. The Super Bowl's got to be the game. Give me Deebo Samuel to get in the end zone.
All right, so Taylor's only going to be with us for a couple of more minutes. She's been on Media Row since like 7 a.m.
I have.
And I don't know how long you were last night. I don't know how you do this.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're younger than me and Joe.
I guess I'm running on pure adrenaline at this point. Yes.
I knew she was going to be this platform with you and I, so she's up for it. You know what I'm saying?
I was ready. Well, Gabe always brings the energy, so I gotta hype myself up when I know that I'm on with Gabe.
We got to end the week strong. Okay, another prop or two, and then we've got about 3 minutes with you. As far as the game itself, we'll get your game breakdown and who you like and why, but any other props?
I've got one more, and I'm going with it because it's worth a little sprinkle, and it's in plus money. I'm going to go with Isaiah Pacheco to be the leading rusher within the game. Everybody's going to be all over Christian McCaffrey. He has not been as efficient throughout the playoffs as Isaiah Pacheco has been for the Chiefs. He's been the leading rusher in every single playoff game this season for the Chiefs. That's not been the case for Christian McCaffrey. I like to put a little bit of money on that, especially with the value that you're getting there.
Okay, so the actual game itself, the main event of the weekend, baby. Who do you like to win Super Bowl 58?
Gabe, give me the Chiefs. We cannot have the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, the soon-to-be next dynasty, Tom Brady, the Patriots, Bill Belichick. We have the next one in the flesh.
I'm already annoyed.
How are they underdogs? Explain to me. If that were me, I'm going to come in, I'm going to prove my point that I am the best that's out there.
I can't justify, Joe. I mean, we've asked people all week why is the point spread the way it is because of the perception, but it's their power rankings, and they're not moving their power rankings even though it's the Super Bowl.
Well, I talked to a couple of racing sportsbook directors this morning and throughout the day, and several big bets, major bets, the biggest chunk bets are coming in on the Niners, on the money line. The general public is all betting the Chiefs, but I want you to know, guys, a bookmaker does not put out a line that sometimes is accurate. He puts it out, or they put it out, that they know they're going to get play on both sides. Understand that. That is the bookmaker's job, to get play on both sides, make sure it's attractive to every type of bettor.
You know what's amazing, Taylor, talking about the point spread here? Number one, the San Francisco 49ers, guys, they've been favored in every game that they played this year. The last team to be favored in every game throughout the National Football League season and postseason, the 1994 San Francisco 49ers, the last time they won the Super Bowl. All right? Just letting you know that. Another interesting thing about this is only the instance in which there's a Super Bowl rematch, not necessarily where the same coaches are going head to head. The coach that lost the Super Bowl did lose again, like both times. And the 8th rematch in Super Bowl history. So it's the 8th rematch in Super Bowl history. The team that won the first time has won 5 of the 7 times. 5 and 2.
Absolutely. But I think that these two coaches, I mean, I would say the Niners coach has come a long way. I think he's definitely matured. Plus, he's got a mature team now.
Dude, he's been so close to the finish line. He's like a horse that's broken down right there, Taylor. 28 in the Super Bowl. They had a 10-point lead in the other Super Bowl. They had a 10-point lead against the Rams in the conference championship game. People forget about that. Just like Harbaugh just won and it was his time, it's Shanahan's time. Shanahan's going to get that Vince Lombardi trophy. Taylor Mathis in the house with us. Let's go Niners. We're getting fired up. Let's roll.
Let's
roll.
Oh, yeah, Texas.
Next year. It could be.
You go.
Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He doesn't run well. The Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts from Pacheco, if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the 23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I don't.
You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat
Look,
bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
not a purse or man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. Welcome back to SportsGrid's coverage of Super Bowl 58. We're live from the beautiful MGM Grand, straight from the Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're just a punt, kick, and a pass away from Allegiant Stadium right here, literally and figuratively. And I tell you what, you talked about loving the MGM. I'm a big fan of Mandalay Bay and the entire property. And not a lot of facilities could pull off having a media center and a boxing match going on. Like just the security, not to mention there's all kinds of people here that aren't even have anything to do with the Super Bowl. Just like people, U2 concerts and drunk people in casinos. And it really is amazing. It's great stuff. And speaking of great stuff, come down to BetMGM. They got a booklet of props here, Joe. We got a booklet of props. So let's get started on some of these here. Something I'm looking at here, I'm going to sort of go in order here. First half, second half wagering, double result, whatever you want to call it, etc. In the 3 Super Bowls that Mahomes has played in, never had the lead once, Joe.
No.
Never had the lead once at the half before.
Yep.
They were down double digits last year. They were down 10 to Philadelphia. They got punched in the mouth, and they were getting, drilled by Tampa. They got smoked in that game.
Yeah.
And the first Super Bowl that they played against San Francisco, the game was tied at the half. I do like the San Francisco 49ers in the first half. And if you look at Shanahan and his track record, he doesn't have a problem. His scripts are great, right? Look, he was the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons. They had a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. He's the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. They had a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter against the Kansas City Chiefs. People forget the year that the Rams won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, the Niners were up by double digits on the Rams. Shanahan is they're prepared. The plays are scripted. They're very good first half team. I know in these playoffs was different, but in these big championship games, his teams have been ready to play, but they've faded as the game has gone on. And Kansas City have been slower starters in these big games. I do like San Francisco personally in the first half. Before we get to your game take, but what do you think of that angle?
Well, I think if you're going with history, certainly, that is the tendency in this matchup. Is it something I bet? I didn't bet this, but I could certainly justify betting it. I know
you're leading KC. We'll get to this in a minute, but how about this?
Yeah.
San Francisco to win the first half, Kansas City to win the game is plus 550.
That's not bad. And I'm more of a meat and potatoes better. I like to keep it a little simpler, but I could certainly see that there was one bet around town. It was Kansas City Chiefs, Mahomes touchdown, Mahomes rushing touchdown, passing touchdown. And if they win, plus about 8-1. I like to keep it a little simpler, but I could certainly see that. Let me put it this way. I would sprinkle a few bucks on it.
You don't want them to be down at the half either.
It doesn't bother me because I will get into this later when I go through my analysis on the game. But honestly, if Patrick Mahomes is down, he's been here before. He's won on this platform. He doesn't rattle. The team don't rattle. They're all business. I do think, and I will touch base in a minute, that San Francisco is going to come in here a little overconfident. But that's a whole other story. That's the one I give out my pick.
One thing that I found interesting about both teams this week is that the Kansas City Chiefs reportedly had to, and not reportedly, they talked about it themselves, the players. Saw Travis Kelce saying that was a very physical walkthrough.
Yeah.
Chris Jones said we had to dial it back a little bit, that we were so fired up. And today we heard the same thing from San Francisco. Yesterday was KC, but today, Joe, was San Francisco's last. They call it Fast Friday.
Yeah.
Everything's fast, everything's real. Like on Fridays with Shanahan, it's real now, right? They're not smoking each other, but it's like the exact thing is they ran 10 plays on defense. They ran a no-huddle drill. They ran this, they ran that, and everything was real of what they're going to do in the game. It was their last sort of deal. They have a little walkthrough at the hotel tomorrow. What are the feeling that you got from the information you saw this week about these teams? Did you like something? And let me say something. Sorry, Joe. Of course, there was so much talk about the practice field. The 49ers didn't complain about it publicly. Behind the scenes, they're livid.
Yeah.
All right? They think that they got screwed. And get this, guys, if you guys don't know this, somebody set the fire alarm off
I heard that.
at the 49ers hotel at 6 in the morning this morning and didn't turn it off for 18 minutes. The Niners also feel that it wasn't an accident. Like, I'm just telling you what the players are saying. All right? No, they don't want to go on record. They just said that was no accident. They said, how come they didn't turn it off right away? 18 minutes. What do you make of this? Is someone screwing with the Niners, or is this just in their heads?
Well, I think them to blow it out of proportion is in their heads. I think they are confident. I don't think either one of these teams are here by accident. They're the two best teams in football. They both deserve to be here. But I think the media plays listen. Like a LeBron foul, and he falls back 20 yards. I'm going to be honest with you. Can I move LeBron? No, the guy's 240 of muscle. Nobody's moving him, but the acting. I think there's a lot of media. I think everything is blown out of proportion. But both of these teams have earned to be here, and they've had 2 weeks to get ready for it. So obviously, both camps are going to get their little media. Their day in the sun. They're 15 minutes of fame each day. So I know earlier on it was Kansas City, then it was San Francisco. I think the media plays it off. I'm not going to overread it or go into it a little too much. I think that it's a little bit of media hype, but I think both teams are ready to play.
And at this point as well, let's be real, man. What can they really practice? Like seriously.
No.
Like if I'm a coach, and I was surprised actually to hear, but they really didn't practice much leading up to this. So they had a couple of one contact type of practice, and they told everyone to chill out after and tone it down. But we're 21 weeks in now, bro. Like if you're not locked in now and you don't know what you're doing now, then you're probably in trouble, right?
Yeah, well,
there's little things you want to tweak, but that's more film and walkthrough, and right, that's more study sessions with the positional groups. What do you make of the fact? Did you go back to the game 4 years ago? Did you use this in a handicap at all?
No, not at all. First of all, there's 28 teams right now playing golf this week, Gabe. They're not playing in the Super Bowl, and these two teams deserve to be here. One thing I don't do, a lot of gamblers out there do, they judge past performances and make their current bets because of them. Listen, you can't watch a game 1 week and then
no, we're predicting the future,
week.
not the
no,
past, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And sports betting is a living, breathing thing. It changes. Players change. Obviously, tendencies you could put a little bit of stock in, but you can't put all the stock in. These two head coaches are bright. They got good offensive and defensive coordinators, and they've got arguably the two best, well, not arguably, the two best teams in the league, two of the best defenses in the league, two very good quarterbacks. You got one guy who's trying to be established and make his name, and the other guy who is established. So I want you to know there's a lot of angles in this matchup, but the bottom line is the line is off here.
You feel that the wrong team is favored?
I do feel the wrong team is favored, but that's because if they would have put this even at a pick'em or Kansas City a 1.5 point favorite, they would have got bombarded with.
But look what happened when the number, because there were actually some threes out there briefly earlier in the day, there, the advanced numbers, etc. There were a lot of books that had hypothetical Super Bowl matchups up already. Yeah. And there was actually threes. They quickly became 2.5. So right after the Lion-Niner game ended, it was 2.5. Mm-hmm. Joe, it didn't take long. It was bet to 1.
Oh, it was.
It
We're
was.
going to see money come in right away.
Yeah, but look, it's been bet back up.
Oh, absolutely.
And as you stated, we saw, earlier in the day, I think there was an $800,000 bet placed on San Francisco. I got to be honest, though, I never make anything of that, bro. You know what I mean? I respect your 80-dime play more than if I see somebody. Dude, it could just be a rich guy. It doesn't mean you're sharp because you're dropping $800K on a game, right?
I've been given the moniker by the race and sportsbook people here in town, and thank you for all your love and support as Las Vegas' biggest daily sports bettor. Obviously, I don't bet $1 million a game. I bet up to 6 figures a game, and I will tell you this. We do see that big action, all right? But you never know if a guy's betting both sides either.
Yeah.
If he's spreading money around town to bet the other side, so he tries the middle of the game. However, I will tell you this. This time of year, you're going to get a lot of big bets. You're going to get a lot of exotic bets. You're going to get a lot of celebrities. Someone told me Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, yeah, the celebrity bets. Great point.
He spent like $1.2 million on his box. I don't know. Whoever he's on, I'm going against. I'll tell you that. Guy hasn't won a bet since I had hair. So I will tell you that. I love him. Great fighter. Nicest guy in the world. But the guy, when it comes to sports, let me tell you this. There's a reason why I'm not in the ring anymore. He is. And there's a reason why I am one of the best gamblers in the world, and he isn't.
No, I know. We're all great at you got to know what you're great at, right?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, he's so rich he can afford it. But
listen, I ain't playing one-on-one with LeBron.
I lived here, and from 2010 to like 2014, spent a lot of other time besides living here. But I used to hang at the M, and like you said, there was a reason why they didn't mind when they. And he sends his boys, not always him, right? So we'd be there. Yeah. right? And you see guys, it's right out of a movie, too. Like guys coming in with a gym bag, dropping like $250,000. All right, give me 100 on the Sixers, give me this. And to be real, normally, like when people ask what were the bets, people fade them after.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely, especially
it's like the Drake curse.
Especially because the line's going to move on it. The Drake curse. Oh my God, we can't even talk about him this week. Oh, he's been in the news a lot. But you know, you're going to get a lot of exotic bets, a lot of big bets. You get some of the bigger bettors, and you know, there's been some talk this week about some of the big bettors in the world coming in, betting money, betting this side. Are they betting it as a ploy so the line would move and they bet the other side? Guys, listen. You do your due diligence. Everybody's got a computer.
We're going to smash Super Bowl betting records.
Oh,
though.
absolutely.
From now legal in 38 states, and then the actual Super Bowl here in Vegas. And great point by Joe. There's probably, I'm thinking, maybe 50, not probably 50 to 100 millions, 80, 75 to 100 million in celebrity bets. Like Joe just said. Like how many, like Barkley. How many Barkley's going to drop? You know, it's funny. Barkley was saying anybody that would pay all this money for a Super Bowl ticket's a damn fool. This guy drops like $400K at like a roulette table. So like, yeah, don't call people out for going to the Super Bowl, Chuck. Yeah. We love you, but come on, bro. They really.
Absolutely.
Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He doesn't run well. The Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts for Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off, the Chiefs do, 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, like, because of the $23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but
I don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
Not a purse or a man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
Hey, by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. We're kicking at the beautiful MGM Grand, right in the heart of the Strip, right down the street from Allegiant Stadium. The place is hopping. The Strip is hopping. We've been here all week. There's been a different dynamic and a different vibe every day. The weather hasn't been great, but it doesn't matter. I've said this before, Joe. People are like, oh, the weather's not great. I'm like, how many times have you been to Vegas, bro, when the weather was beautiful outside, but you were in the casino all day anyway?
Absolutely.
So yeah, the weather. But Niner fans are starting to buzz around. Mandalay Bay is just, that was where the fan expo is. It's going to be, you can go down still tomorrow as well. Really cool stuff. If you're a football fan, all kinds of football players,
absolutely.
NFL players are there. Jackets like this, not quite like this, because everyone's coming up to me and go, man, that's a sweet jacket. And how about the back of this jacket, too, Joe? You like this Las Vegas style?
Oh, I love it. That is fantastic. And Gabe was nice enough to tell me that everybody on the show today gets a free jacket.
Yeah, free drinks, free jackets. Hey, we're not Pat McAfee here. We're not giving. I'm not one of those guys. I'll give $5,000 to the next person that retweets my post, right? So let's get Let's get back to the game here. Why do you like Kansas City? You talked about you think the wrong team is favored, but
I do.
You think Kansas City are the better football team? Is it Brock Purdy's inexperience? What do you think is the Niners' downfall?
Well, I don't think the Niners have too many downfalls. Sports fans, there's no question both teams deserve to be here. As a matter of fact, I predicted in the preseason that these two teams would fight for the Lombardi Trophy. By the way, named after another great Italian. Just want to throw that out there. All right, my friends, having said that, with all respect to the Niners and Brock Purdy.
Gene Steratore was on the show I was on today.
Italian.
Gene Steratore, there was a lot of paisans.
Listen, we're great. We're Montana, Vince Ferragamo, Dan Marino.
Vince Ferragamo, former Montreal Concord, baby.
I love you. You're the best. Shout out
After
to
the Rams, he played for the Montreal Concords in the CFL.
He really?
Yeah.
I didn't know they still had football in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you.
Good football.
I love you. I know they have good football. I keep a good ear on everything that goes on up there. As I mentioned, Brock Purdy and the Niners, they just haven't proven to me that they could win at this level. I know Purdy wasn't here a few years ago when the 49ers made it to the big game, but I still feel they're a little bit short of what they need to do to win the Super Bowl. Now, whether you like it or not, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are the new Tom Brady and the Patriots. Not only have they gotten here quite a few times over the last several seasons, they have won on this platform. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Whatever you did prior to making it to the Super Bowl, doesn't matter. The point is moot. Now, Mahomes, my opinion, he's a money player. There are money players and there are fun players. I know we had some Bills Mafia out here. I don't want to piss off anybody, but I'll be honest with you. Josh Allen's a fun player. Lamar Jackson is a fun player. When the big game comes down, they do not win. Patrick Mahomes is a money player, okay? And I've been hearing a lot of talk this week, Gabe, about that they're not the team they once were, which I don't understand. And even they can't stop the run. Well, tell that to the Ravens in the conference title game, who are the best rushing team in the NFL. They shut them down. All right. On defense, this team possesses a stop unit that has not allowed a single opponent to put up better than 27 this season. My friends, after the conference title win, this is a big point to me. And I know, even the great folks here at BetMGM are going to love this. All right. After the conference title game, Patrick Mahomes was interviewed on the field and made it a point to say that him and the team were very aware. They were cognizant of the fact that they were underdogs. They know they were underdogs. It did not sit well with them.
They're feeding off of it.
They're feeding off of it. And I do feel on the opposite side they're coming a little overconfident.
Like when Kelsey gets booed, when he says, keep doing it. I love it. He goes, it gets me more excited for the game.
Gabe, we saw a lot where there's a professional fight here last night. You touched base on it. If I'm the heavyweight champ and I'm undefeated, and there's a new kid on the block, and he's going to come in as the favorite, I'm going to go out of my way to make an example of him.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, there's a big difference between a heavyweight champion and these two teams.
Let me tell you something here, too, Joe, as far as the experience. We had Dhani Jones on set yesterday. He's played in 2 Super Bowls, national champion with the Michigan Wolverines, 1997, Tom Brady's teammate, greasy like legends, right?
Yeah.
And I said, who do you like? He picked KC. He said, hey, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a great game. Pick KC. I said, why? And he goes, experience. And I said, so what about the experience? And it wasn't that, Brock Purdy is too young or whatnot. He said the Super Bowl is like no other game.
No.
He said, until you play in a Super Bowl, you don't really realize.
You don't hear the fans anywhere else.
He said, like, the magnitude of the Sunday morning. And he basically, I said, the pressure, right? And he goes, not so much the pressure. He said, everything is different. He said, you're not in your routine. You have a bus. There's police escorts. He said, you never get to go on the field before the game. He goes, you can't go on the field because there's people out there.
A different feel. It's
and he said, he's
impersonal.
He talked about
intimate.
He talked about the
regular.
halftime. He talked about the halftime being longer. He talked about the commercial breaks being longer. All things that we notice as fans, players notice as well. Yeah. And he basically said, you have to be strong and focused because there'll be stuff that's going to bother you in the Super Bowl that, not like the game. You're going to be like, man, okay, fine. Everyone loves Rihanna. I want to play football. I don't want to sit here for 35 minutes, right? I'm used to sitting here for 12 minutes, right? All those type of things, really, that's the dynamic. But the Niners were in the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Yes.
Purdy wasn't.
Well, he was not, but they did not win. And I got to be honest with you. What I really do love about Patrick Mahomes, what I like about this team is they went to the Super Bowl, they won. They went to the Super Bowl, they lost. They came back, they won again. That says a lot about you. What's the old saying? It's not how hard you get hit, it's how you get hit and keep coming back. Guys, this is a team that even if they fall behind, you mentioned that you like the San Francisco 49ers in the first half. If they fall behind, they don't rattle. You can't rattle them.
No, they don't.
And I'll tell you something else. If they are ahead early, guys, They are like Joe Louis, the greatest heavyweight finisher of all time. They just knock your butt out. I'll tell you, I think this team is.
That's why Pacheco got so many carries, actually, because, like you said, they just suffocated Miami when they had the lead. They suffocated Baltimore for the most. Although Baltimore did move the ball in the second half, they just didn't capitalize. Let's get to your props. What do you like?
Well, I chose a few props that I feel I can make money on. Now, the last 2 years in the Super Bowl, I made six figures each year betting something. And once again, it must give me value. Will there be a tie after 0-0 plus of 140, 145, 150? A 7-7, 10-10, 14-14, even later on in the game, a 21 all. I like that. Shortest field goal game. I think we would both agree in this season's playoffs. We've seen several coaches make some mistakes on third and fourth down. We've seen several coaches not kick a field goal when they should have. Shortest field goal, under 27.5. It's not like you mess up this week, you come back next week and do better. You mess up this week, you're done. You're out. You are the loser. Nobody remembers the loser. I like the longest rush by Purdy, 6.5 yards over. I think both quarterbacks at times are going to be running for their life. That's even money. I love this one. Will there be a special team or defensive touchdown? Two of the best defenses in football.
You think it's going to happen?
I think it could happen, and plus 250 makes me want to bet a few bucks on it. Total receiving yards by Kittle, 49.5. He is a big, I'll tell you what, he is a big guy. He's going to be a big part of this offense. While Purdy and Mahomes are key, I feel getting McCaffrey, getting Kittle, getting Kelsey, I drew a blank on Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Getting these guys, you like that? Getting these guys involved, getting them going, and I think there are going to be some seams that they can exploit. Will Kittle score a TD plus $1.70? Is a steal. Bet it, bank it, bet the kids' college fund. Total.
I've got Kittle scoring the first touchdown of the game. 10-1.
I see enormous value in that. I certainly do. For me, as a bettor, I want to keep things that I have a little more control over, but I can definitely see it. And at 10-1, it is a bargain. Will Patrick Mahomes over 2 touchdowns, plus 170 is value. Pacheco to score a TD, plus 120, especially in short yardage situations. Guys, they're going to go to him. Total receiving yards by Kelsey, 72.5. Over! I'm telling you right now, longest reception by Kelsey, 21.5 yards. Over. These two last ones outside of the 0-0 are my two biggest bets, Gabe. Total receptions by Kelsey, it was 6.5 when I bet it.
Yeah.
I know some of the books brought it up. I didn't check. My bad. I was so excited about seeing you on the show, being with you and Taylor.
Let's see what the updated prop sheet. This is
I like it
here.
over. Even if it goes to 7 or 7.5, I think it's 9, 10, 11 receptions. And one more I do like, Gabe. I love it. Will Kelsey score a TD? Absolutely. Plus 105, plus 110. Every single prop I've given out on this show is minus 110 or better, or their odds in your favor. Guys, remember value. Yes, we talked earlier in the show when Taylor was on the panel. Guys, do I think Mahomes is going to throw a touchdown? Absolutely. But I'm going to lay 500 to win 100. Does not bring me value.
I like Mahomes over 1.5 touchdown passes. You can go for the 2 and get the push. You try to get plus money, 2.5, etc. But 7 of the last 9 playoff games. Mahomes has thrown for 2 or more touchdown passes. I love the Travis Kelce prop, even though for the record, I like San Francisco in this game.
Okay.
But you're not going to shut Travis Kelce down, even though the other team knows it's going to him. And
he's his go-to guy, Gabe.
Well, I've talked about it a lot. He was targeted 11 times. He had 11 catches in the last game. You know how incredible that is? Like, you don't think the Ravens said, and the Ravens had the best pass, technically the best pass defense in the NFL coming into this game. So you don't think the Ravens game plan and said, all right, we're not going to let Kelce beat us. We've got to watch out for Kelce. Not only did he have 11 catches, they didn't bat one ball down. He didn't drop So you look at Kelce, he might have 4 or 5 catches on their first drive, bro.
You know what's so important to a guy like Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to use Brady and Gronk as an example. We've seen time and time again where Gronk was double teamed. He had guys all over him. Somebody might have had a little bit of an opening. He throws to Gronk. Why? Because he knows 99 of 100 he's going to come down with it. That's the same thing with Kelce. Not only does Kelce provide him with that go-to guy, does he provide him with that assurance? Kelce goes out of his way to give it to the other team and the fans. He really does. And I'll tell you what, he strives on it, he thrives on it. And I'm going to tell you, Mr. Taylor Swift is going to be an intricate part of this game. I like him over. I like him with the receptions over, and I like him to score a touchdown.
So for the record, here at BetMGM right now, it's minus 155. Over 6.5 receptions. I'm like Joe D'Amico alongside. I'm Gabriel Morency. I got it in. I bet it like last week before I came out here even. Getting in on the 6.5, knowing that it was going to go up. And Kelce saves his best for these big games. Yeah. So Rashee Rice in practice yesterday had his foot stepped on. Not going to be a problem. How do you feel about Rice coming into this game? Because he had 8 catches against the Baltimore Ravens. His prop is 6.5, which might actually be a little bit ambitious.
You know, it might be a little ambitious, but I do think that
is he going to get to 7 catches?
He might. I'll tell you why, because I do believe Mahomes is going to spread the ball around. Listen, I love the San Francisco 49ers defense. I think they're amazing. And because of that, you're going to see a lot of receivers getting a lot of different passes. I'm going to tell you right now, Pacheco out of the backfield, you might see. I do like McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. I think he is.
I do like Pacheco. Listen, Pacheco's one of the sort of public ones right now. People have been riding him. 65.5 rush yards, though. It's hard to pass that up. Yeah. I like Pacheco over 16.5 receiving yards, Joe, because it doesn't take much. You can get that on 1 catch, 2 catches, 3 catches. And I do think that both running backs are going to be massive parts. They're both massive parts of the game plan. Absolutely. McCaffrey out of the backfield catching passes, and even Pacheco, because they're kind of limited at the wide receiver position.
Gabe, especially because these two defenses are so good. So these receivers can be blanketed at times. And you will see these two guys coming out of the backfield and catching passes. It'll be a little dink and dunk. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a big part of both offensive units' game plans.
Joe D'Amico kicking it with us. What else do you like, Joe?
That's really about it for the props. Listen, I like less is more.
We'll recap on the other side. We're going to have a couple of more minutes with Joe D'Amico on the way out here live from the MGM Grand. Our Super Bowl 58 coverage on SportsGrid continues. Keep it locked right here on the grid. Bring it. Brady, they don't call pass interference nearly as much as they used to. They're letting the guys play this year over the last couple of months. Vinovich has the reputation of letting them play. We saw he called 9 penalties only in the last Super Bowl. I've already placed the bet. Total accepted penalties in the Super Bowl under 10.5.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He doesn't run well. the Chiefs are really in trouble. If McCaffrey doesn't run well, there's a lot more options that you can actually use at that point. And that's how I'm trying to approach it and effectively. But also, Pacheco, anytime touchdown, if they're going to score a touchdown, probably going to be him.
That's a good look. Attempts from Pacheco if you believe Kansas City's going to play their style. If you don't, then maybe you go under that total in regards to that.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They reel off the Chiefs, do 21 straight points. They win the game 31-20.
I've been selling this, because of the 23 billion is going to be bet on this game in the States this Sunday. That's insane. And this place, Vegas, they're going to make billions of dollars if the Chiefs don't win.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but
I don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat
Look,
bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
not a purse or
this
man bag.
This
It's
is
a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I am Gabriel Morency. Welcome back to the MGM Grand, straight from the Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. Countdown to kickoff continues. We're getting fired up. Let's do this thing. The big game is nearly here. Fans are enjoying themselves. I got to tell you, though, we got Chief Nation in the house here. Chief.
There we go.
I got to tell you, the Chief fans are starting to, I don't know, man.
On the pilot. I think the Niner fans are rowdier and drunker, but the Chief fans are starting to come in.
I don't want to insult anyone. I think the Chief fans have more money. I was going to say it. Niner fans are on Fremont Street.
I'll be walking Gabe to his car after the show, I'll tell you that.
No, I'm just stating, they're down there like on Fremont, taking the joint over right now. There's fans of both teams here, but it's confusing at times because they're both red.
Yeah,
that's serious. So, sometimes in the parking lot, and they cross paths, and they all merge. It's like they have the same, they're not both wearing red in the game, but there's a lot of fans that are both wearing red jerseys, Niner jerseys and Chief jersey here.
Absolutely. Well, that saves a lot of fights and altercations, But
I haven't seen any confrontations, which has been cool.
Gabe, this is Vegas. It is Super Bowl weekend. We got WrestleMania. We got U2. We had a fight. We got everything going. As you said, Slapfest. Guys, it doesn't get bigger or better than Vegas. It doesn't get bigger or better than stuff going on here. Yeah, Slapfest. Listen to me.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to all your former teammates at Xavier High too, right? You're 11.
My Xavier brothers. Hey, there we go,
Xavier
baby.
High,
I love
New York City,
and
right?
A big shout out to my son, United States Marine Corps. We love you. My father and my wife, Dion. I love you. She's at home. I'm gonna have to explain to her why I was sitting so close to Taylor at the beginning of the show. Trust me, like this. You know a good divorce lawyer?
There's a lot of them here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe. So we've got about 30 seconds, 40 seconds here. Tell everybody gathering around here right now, who's Joe D'Amico taking to win Super Bowl 58?
Kansas City Chiefs, baby. Take them on the money line, but take the points anyway. Just err on the side of caution. They'll win. Patrick Mahomes is the new Tom Brady. Take it. Bet the kid's college fund. Doesn't matter if he goes to Tallahassee Junior College anyway. That's it.
They're not going to college anyways. Chief fan just yelled from the back, they're not going to college anyways. Don't worry. Joe D'Amico.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.